There was a young man who made every decision twice, once in his heart and once in his fear. And fear always won, until one day he realized he wasn't living his life, he was watching it happen to someone else. This is the story of the last day he let fear decide. His name was Arjun, 24 years old, engineering graduate, smart, capable, but trapped. He had dreams, big ones. He wanted to start his own business. He wanted to travel. He wanted to tell the girl he loved how he felt. But every time he came close to doing something, a voice inside whispered, "What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you're not ready?" So he stayed quiet. He stayed safe. He stayed stuck. He worked a job he didn't care about. He scrolled his phone every night, watching others live the life he wanted. He told himself, "One day, when I'm ready." But deep down, he knew the truth. He wasn't waiting for the right time. He was waiting for fear to go away. And it never did. One evening, Arjun sat alone in his room. Again, another day wasted, another opportunity missed. That morning, his manager asked, "Do you want to lead the new project?" Arjun had said no. Too much pressure, he thought. That afternoon, he saw her, the girl he'd liked for 2 years. She smiled at him. He wanted to say something, anything, but his mouth stayed shut. That night, his best friend called. "I'm moving to another city. New job, new life. You should do something bold too, man." Arjun laughed it off, but inside, something cracked. He looked at himself in the mirror, and for the first time, he didn't recognize the person staring back. This wasn't him. This wasn't the boy who once dreamed without limits. This was someone else, someone shaped by fear, someone smaller, quieter, invisible. He sat on the edge of his bed and whispered to himself, "How did I become this?" That night, he couldn't sleep. He opened his old notebook, the one from college, full of ideas, plans, goals. Page after page of things he never did. And on the last page, he found something he'd written years ago. "I will not let fear steal my life." He stared at those words. Then he laughed, a bitter, broken laugh, because fear had already stolen years. But then something shifted. He asked himself a different question. What if I die tomorrow? Not in a dark way, but honestly. If tomorrow was my last day, would I be proud of today? The answer was instant. No, he wouldn't. And suddenly it became clear. Fear wasn't protecting him. It was erasing him. Every no he said to life was a yes to fear. Every time he stayed silent, fear spoke louder. He wasn't being careful. He was disappearing. And the worst part, no one was stopping him. Not his parents, not his boss, not society. He was doing it to himself. Arjun closed the notebook. He stood up, looked in the mirror again, and this time he made a promise. Tomorrow, I decide, not fear. The next morning felt different. Not because fear was gone, it wasn't, but because he stopped waiting for it to leave. He went to his manager. "I'll take the project." His heart was racing, but he said it anyway. He texted the girl, just 3 words, "Coffee this week?" His hands were shaking, but he sent it anyway. He opened his laptop, started writing the business plan he'd been avoiding for months. His mind screamed, "You'll fail, you're not ready," but he typed anyway. And something strange happened. With every small action, fear got quieter. Not because it disappeared, but because his voice got louder. He realized something powerful. Fear doesn't go away when you're ready. You become ready when you move despite the fear. Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the refusal to let fear decide. Weeks passed. The project? He struggled, made mistakes, but he learned. The girl? She said yes. They talked for hours. The business? Still just an idea, but now it was moving. Arjun wasn't suddenly fearless. He still felt doubt, still felt scared, but now he knew the difference. Feeling fear is human. Obeying fear is a choice. He stopped asking, "What if I fail?" and started asking, "What if I don't try?" Because the biggest risk in life isn't failure, it's living your whole life wondering, "What if I had been brave?" Fear will always whisper, but you don't have to listen. You don't have to wait until you're ready. You just have to decide, "Today I move." Arjun still thinks about that night, the night he looked in the mirror and didn't recognize himself. It was the last day he let fear decide, and the first day he started living his own life. If you're watching this, maybe you're standing where Arjun stood. Maybe you've been saying tomorrow for too long. Maybe fear has been deciding for you. But today can be different. Today can be the last day you let it win. If this story touched you, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more stories that remind you who you really are. Because you're stronger than the voice that tells you to stay small. You always have been.